What's up, brothers? What's up, sisters? That dream, bro. Bro, that dream was. But this is what I tell you, like, how my older self killed my younger self. That's that's what mind boggles me. But it doesn't mind boggle me because I know I can time travel. So remember when I told you that somebody, well, not somebody, Satan did that. So when Joseph got crucified and burned was because he was doing a lot of fry shit out here. But it wasn't him. It wasn't him. When he was being crucified, it was him. But it wasn't him while he was doing all the fry shit. Somebody stole his soul. And I already know. The witch. The witch that snared me. And I was saying before 250 years, but it's more like 315 years. Now, I'll tell you this. I lived a lot of lives, bro. I've been a lot of little kids out here. A lot. Because every time she thought like her cover was blown, she would just pick us up and leave and we start a whole new fucking life. She used to take all my memories, bro. It was crazy, bro. And then every time she thought I was getting to remember myself, she will kill me and do it again. I be remembering certain things. I don't remember all things, but I remember certain things, and certain things made me remember other things. And certain things it stays stuck with me. Like I just know certain things. That's why, like reading the Bible, when I started reading the Bible, I used to understand it for what it was. Like I was like, but how can I understand this book this way and everybody says it's that way? And I used to be like that, but why can't I read it this way and they read it that way? I'm wrong or they wrong? And then I used to ask questions to these Christian pastors and they be like, no, nigga, who's the pastor? I'm like, oh, you're the pastor. But could it be this way? No. Yes, it could be this way. The problem is they was devils, witches and warlocks running churches. It's crazy, bro.
I need something to eat now. The fuck?
And then I used to go through things and I used to go to church so niggas could pray and touch me. And I'm like, when I understood that shit was wrong, I'm like, oh, y'all been closing me. Instead of opening me up, y'all been closing me down. Like, oh, shit. Most High told me, yo, bro, in a dream, he told me, don't let nobody touch you, bro. They closing you. I'm opening you up and you allowing them to close you. I'm like, okay, that's what that is. I know who my dad is. My dad is King David. I know who King David is. Wow. And he has the same wife, the same mom. Last time I saw them, I was probably 5, 6, 7 years old. I had on a Spider-Man shirt and a Spider-Man book bag. Last time I saw them. Last time I saw them, I was going up the steps from my house. Then, when I fell off the ladder, I woke up. I woke up in this apartment. I'm like, what the fuck? And there was this room for like little kids. And I asked them like, whose room is that? It was like a room for little kids. And I'm like, whose room is that? He said, no, nobody's room. Anybody could play in here. I was talking to Joseph, bro. My older self. How? Then he had me on this couch with a blanket. I guess when I fell, I went into like this coma because I woke up and I was smelling pissy, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And I woke up in his apartment, and I'm like, where am I? And then I saw him again. I was like, oh shit. Then I remember opening up the window or the portal, and I remember the ladder came out to heaven like that, and I started climbing the ladder, bro. And when I started climbing the ladder, bro, that's when he really killed me. That's when he took my first powers. The red eyes. No sé, no? And then from there, they started doing what they did. They took me to PR, they took me to DR. Nigga, I've been all over this earth as a child. That's why I know so much, bro. I done lived so many lives, don't even know. But it's like, and then people be like, well, how you know how to do that? I'm like, I don't know, I just know. And they get mad at me because I know. Like, why you getting mad? I done rap. I started rock and roll. I hope you know that. I did that. I started rapping. Every business there is on this earth, I started that. I did that. How the government works, I made the government work like that. This is the problem right now. Everything they have, they stole, right? So they don't know how nothing works. What they really do is reverse engineer shit to figure it out how it works, you know? Even the bombs, when they found the bombs, they had to reverse engineer it to understand what it does and how it works. You understand? They didn't build nothing here. They found everything how it is, bro. Everything. The nuclear bombs, the missiles, everything. The tanks, all that shit was made by us. Not lying to you, bro. When they came up in here, they found all the buildings here. They were burned, yeah, but they rebuilt the buildings and they took it for themselves. All the cities were here. Nothing's new here. Everything is old. That's why you see buildings that look broken down. I got you right now. The money system, I created the money system because it had to be created to run perfectly, so it won't be no stealing and everybody get their little percentage out of what they invested into the system. It was a family thing, so every family got whatever they invested in, and it was always being run by agricultural shit like sugar, like wheat, can sugar cane, corn. That's how the market started. And then we kept adding on new things like cotton, stuff like that. And every family had they business into it. So there was a family that dealt with corn, there was a family that dealt with cotton, and everybody got their little PC of when it hit the market, right? Now me coming in 2019 and started praying, I'm like, Father, I know this is real. I don't know how I know, but I know this is real. Please, I need to do this. And I remember praying before that, I was like, Father, if you let me be the king of Israel, I will fix this. Bro, I felt these goosebumps. I felt the Holy Spirit. I never felt the Holy Spirit so hard that day. It made me cry for hours, bro. And then when I said that, that's when I started getting the real dreams and the visions. I was like, oh, hold up. Until he came in a vision. And he was talking to me, and he looked just like me. And he tells me, I asked him, yo, bro, so then who's Michael? He says, me. And I'm like, I'm looking at him, but bro, we look alike. And then one day, remember I put a video and I said, my father looks just like me. He came in somebody else's body and he told me, which one is it? You look like me or I look like you? And he laughed. I was like, wow. So that dream, bro, with that school bus and the speakers, and he was reading the scriptures. I was with my mom and my dad, my real mom and dad. And in that dream, he didn't have to tell me he was King David. I just knew he was King David. So how does that work, right? Since they used to they took me and they made me go through different bodies. What they used to do was they used to take my soul and put it in somebody's body and make a new baby with that same soul, with my own soul, bro. With my own soul. They used to do that. So I am my own dad because I came out of my own soul, just with a different body. So by the time they did the third time, right? Michael came in, the man with four faces. When Michael came in, it was a wrap. Michael stood. And Michael ain't leaving this body, bro. Like, he's like, no, nigga, this is it. So it mind boggles them that I'm still here. Because honestly, I got so many kids. A lot. And that's what they've been using to try to hold me down, bro. Kids. And then what they don't understand is I got the spoken word. So if I just say, all I need to say is a word and it happens. So I disconnected myself from those illegitimate kids. And it happened. I felt it when the cords got cut. I'm not lying, bro.